The moment you step back, everything changes. Have you ever felt that weird, painful silence? You're just staring at your phone, waiting for a reply that never comes. You check again. Nothing. You start wondering, did I do something wrong? Was I too much? Was I not enough? You used to talk every day, laugh together, share things. She'd smile when she saw you. Her voice was soft. Her eyes would sparkle when you were near. But now, it's like someone turned off a light. She's distant. She's cold. She's acting like she doesn't even care. And it hurts because you thought being kind, caring, loving would make her stay. You texted her first. You made time for her. You showed up. You proved you cared. You thought, if I just give more, maybe she'll come closer. But instead, she started pulling away, like sand slipping through your fingers. No matter how hard you tried to hold on, she was disappearing. Here's the part that shocks most men. Sometimes giving too much actually makes her want you less. Sounds unfair, right? You're doing everything you were told to do. Be kind, be present, be supportive. But guess what? That's not what creates attraction. That's not what makes her crave you. And it's not because you're not good enough. It's because when you're always there, she doesn't feel anything new. No mystery, no space, no fire. Imagine this. If someone gave you chocolate every single hour of every single day, would it still feel like a treat? Nope. After a while, it becomes boring, normal, expected. It's not that the chocolate changed. It's that there was no space in between, no room to miss it. Now think about you. If you're always texting, always checking in, always chasing, how can she ever miss you? How can she ever wonder what you're doing if she always knows? How can she feel a spark if there's no distance to build it? That's the secret no one told you growing up. Women fall for what they feel, not just what they see. And when you're always emotionally available, without space, without purpose, without direction, it doesn't pull her closer. It actually pushes her away. Why? Because it feels too easy, too safe, too predictable. But when you step back, when you focus on your own life, when you stop making her the center of your world, she feels the shift. It's not about ignoring her. It's not about being mean or distant on purpose. It's about knowing this. Your energy is power. Your attention is value. And your presence is a gift. And when you stop handing it out like candy, she starts to feel the loss. She starts to ask, where did he go? She starts to miss you. And that's the moment it begins. That's the start of her emotional pull toward you. Not because you played a game, but because you finally realized she's supposed to join your life, not become your life. When your world is full, your time is limited, and your heart is guarded with strength, that's when she starts to fight for a space in your life. Because you're no longer a boy chasing love. You're a man walking with purpose. And trust me, women don't just notice that. They feel it in their bones. They crave it. And once they taste it, they can't help but chase it. Get ready. The more you vanish, the more she feels it. Here's a secret that almost no one tells you. What she doesn't see hits her way harder than what she does. Sounds crazy, right? But think about it. When you're gone for a while, when your phone is silent, when your energy pulls away from her world, not in anger, not in spite, but because you're focused on something bigger, her mind starts to race. Where is he? What is he doing? Is he thinking about me or someone else? Suddenly, you're not just some guy. You become a question, a mystery, a story her mind can't stop writing. See, the moment you stop being always there is the same moment she starts feeling everything you didn't say. That's the power of absence. Not silence out of spite, but silence out of purpose. You've got things to build, goals to chase, a mission that matters. And when you go quiet, not to punish, but to level up, it does something powerful inside her. It triggers the emotional chase. Because here's the truth most guys never learn. Chasing her with words rarely works. But making her feel your absence, that flips her emotions upside down. Why? Because women connect through emotions, not logic. It's not about what you say. It's about what she feels when you're not around. And the strange part? She starts to think about you more when you're not available. Your silence becomes louder than your words. Your distance becomes more attractive than your presence. And your purpose becomes hotter than any gift you could give. Here's the part most men miss. When you vanish, not to run, but to rise, she doesn't think, he's being cold. She thinks, why do I miss him so much? She starts remembering the little things, your laugh, your scent, the way you stood firm and calm. And guess what? That space ... that emotional withdrawal, that one disconnection move you made, it begins to haunt her thoughts, but only when it's real, only when it comes from truth, not games, only when it's powered by purpose, not ego. You don't need to tell her what you're doing. You don't need to announce your focus. She'll feel it. She'll notice when you're no longer chasing, but becoming. And the second she realizes that your energy is no longer orbiting her world, she'll feel something deep inside, a pull, a longing, a craving that says, I need to be close to him again. But this time, it's not because you gave more. It's because you gave less of yourself to what didn't matter and more to your mission. That shift, it's emotional gold. And once you master that, she starts chasing you with the same hunger you used to chase her with. Her heart follows the man who doesn't flinch. Let me ask you something real. What happens when she throws a test at you? Not a big one, not a loud one, just a little shift in her tone, a small delay in her reply. Or maybe a day of cold silence. Most men panic. They rush to fix it. They double text. They call. They overthink. They try to prove, explain, convince, beg. But guess what? That reaction, it kills the attraction. Not because you're weak, but because she felt you weren't in control. Here's the truth nobody teaches us growing up. The man who stays calm when things get tense becomes unforgettable. Why? Because calm equals strength, and strength equals safety. When she can't shake you, when you don't flinch, don't fold, don't chase, she feels something deep in her chest. Respect. And right behind respect comes desire. Because women aren't looking for a man who freaks out. They're drawn to the man who can feel everything, but still stay steady. Let me break this down clearly. You're not a robot. You're human. You can feel anger. You can feel hurt. You can feel the sting when she goes quiet or distant or acts strange. But emotional mastery means this. You don't let your feelings run the show. You notice the emotion. You breathe through it. You stand still like a mountain. And that stillness, that's when your power shows. She starts to realize, this man doesn't need me to act right for him to be okay. This man doesn't crumble when I test his strength. This man is rooted. That energy is rare. That energy is magnetic. That energy makes her feel something no chase ever could. And here's where it gets wild. The moment you stop trying to fix her feelings and just let her experience them, she starts reaching for your calm. She starts craving your peace. She starts thinking, why am I acting like this? He's not even moved. Why do I want him more now? You didn't yell. You didn't chase. You didn't fold. You just stood, steady, unshaken. That's not cold. That's attractive. That's the kind of man she can't forget. Because no matter how wild her emotions get, your calm becomes her anchor. And when a woman feels like you can handle her storms, she lets you into parts of her heart no one else sees. But it only happens if you hold the line, if you don't react, if you stay calm when everything inside you wants to explode. The world trains men to react, but Stoic wisdom teaches something better. Respond with stillness. That stillness makes her respect you. That respect builds emotional attraction. And that attraction makes her fight to be near your peace again. Why silence makes her feel your power. Let me ask you something wild. What if your silence said more than your words ever could? Sounds strange, right? But stay with me. This one truth might flip everything upside down for you. Most men think, if I say the right thing, she'll come closer. If I explain myself more, she'll understand. If I show her how much I care, she'll choose me. But no one tells you the secret that changes the game. Sometimes the most powerful move is saying nothing. Not in anger, not in revenge, not in a cold, toxic way, but in a peaceful way. In a way that says, I don't need to speak to be heard. I don't need to chase to be wanted. I don't need to convince you to stay. That kind of silence. It gets in her head. It echoes. It lingers. It makes her wonder. Why is he so quiet? Why isn't he chasing me like the others? Did I lose him? Wait, do I miss him? And boom, that's the emotional shift. Your silence becomes your signal, not a signal of weakness, but a signal of strength. Silence shows you're centered. Silence shows you're not needy. Silence shows you have a life that speaks louder than words. When you stay silent instead of over-explaining, when you walk into your own life instead of chasing hers, when you choose peace over proving, you flip the script in her mind. She starts thinking, who is this man? Why can't I stop thinking about him? What if he's really gone? You see, it's not about being rude. It's not about ignoring. It's about protecting your energy. It's about holding your ground. It's about letting your absence remind her of your value. Because here's the truth, brother. What is always there gets taken for granted, but what disappears, even for a little while, gets remembered. It gets missed. It gets valued. It gets wanted. So if you're always talking, always explaining, always reaching, she never has the space to feel your worth. But when you go quiet, when you disconnect, not from pain but from power, it creates a silence that screams, I am whole, with or without you. I am at peace, even when I walk alone. I am not here to beg. I am here to be respected. And respect is what builds real attraction. Let the silence do the heavy lifting. Let her sit with it. Let her feel it. Let her wonder. Because once a woman feels the gap your presence used to fill, she starts craving your return. And when she does, she's no longer testing you. She's chasing you. The weird power of not needing her anymore. What if I told you that the very moment you stop needing her, she starts needing you? Yeah, sounds backward, right? But this is where it gets wild. Because most guys, maybe even you, have been tricked. They've been taught to need a woman to feel happy, to feel important, to feel like a man. But the truth is, the less you need her, the more she feels pulled towards you. Let's slow that down. Needing someone too much makes you feel small. It makes you second-guess everything. It makes you wait by the phone. It makes you try too hard. And guess what? Women feel that energy. Fast. She doesn't have to hear you say it. She can sense it in how fast you reply, how your mood changes when she pulls away, how nervous you get when she takes too long to answer. It's like emotional radar. She knows. And you might think, but I care about her. What's wrong with that? Nothing. But needing her to feel whole, that's a different story. See, emotional neediness feels heavy. It feels clingy. It pushes her away, even when you mean well. Why? Because deep down, she's looking for a man who is already full. A man who can stand on his own, who can walk with purpose, who can feel calm, steady, peaceful, with or without her. That's who she respects. Not because he's mean, not because he plays games, but because he's not chained to her energy. She feels it. He's with her because he chooses to be, not because he has to be. And that drives her wild. So here's what you do. You stop trying to prove your worth to her. You stop making her your whole world. You stop waking up and checking your phone to see if she still likes you. Instead, you become your own home, your own peace, your own reason for smiling. That kind of man doesn't chase, he attracts. That kind of man doesn't beg. He walks with quiet power. And when a woman sees that, she starts to think, what's going on with him? Why does he feel so different now? I kinda miss being needed. But the truth is, she never wanted to be needed. She wanted to be valued. And that difference is everything. You give her that gift, not by clinging to her, but by showing her you're already complete. This silent power makes her feel safe and obsessed. You ever walk into a room and say nothing, but everybody still feels you? No loud voice, no showing off, just that calm, powerful energy. That's what we're talking about today. Because listen carefully. The man who can control his emotions controls the room. And women feel that. They don't always understand it. They might not even say it, but it hits them deep. And they remember how you made them feel. Now here's the real kicker. Most men think strength means hiding emotions. Nope. Real strength isn't hiding, it's handling. Let me explain. When a woman gets cold, distant, confusing, most guys panic. They send long texts. They beg for answers. They try to fix it. But you pause, you breathe. You let the storm pass without jumping in. Because you understand something most men never learn. Her emotions are like waves. Yours are the anchor. When she cries, tests you, or pushes buttons, you don't blow up, you don't shut down, you don't chase or fold, you just stay still. And she notices. She notices you don't flinch. You don't try to argue or impress. You just hold your ground. Calm, clear, solid. That stillness? It makes her feel something no nice guy can give her. Safety. Not the I'll buy you flowers safety, but the deep kind. The kind that says, I'm here, I'm steady, I won't drown in your storms. That's what turns a woman's head. That's what makes her miss you when you're gone. That's what keeps you in her heart, even in silence. See, emotional mastery doesn't mean feeling nothing. It means feeling everything, but staying in control. Like a calm sea with strong waves underneath. You still feel. You just don't get tossed around. And in that peace, that's where power lives. She can sense it. And soon, she starts to trust it. She leans into it. She gets curious. Why isn't he reacting? Why is he so calm, even when I'm not? Why does he feel so different than the rest? Because you're not trying to win her over. You're mastering you. When you have a mission, she chases the man, not the other way around. Let me ask you something kind of dangerous. What happens when a man forgets his mission? He makes her his mission. And that's when things fall apart. It starts slow. You start waiting for her text. You start wondering if she's happy. You start giving up your own goals just to make her stay. But guess what? The moment you put her at the center of your world, she starts backing away. Why? Because deep down, she doesn't want to be your purpose. She wants to watch you chase it. She wants to feel like she's joining a man who's already going somewhere. See, women don't fall for guys who give up everything. They fall for the man who builds everything and lets her witness it. She wants to feel like she's part of something bigger. Not something needy, not something clingy, not something desperate. Think about it. Imagine a man walking through life with a fire in his chest. He's focused, he's busy, he's building something real. That man, he doesn't chase, he doesn't beg, he doesn't prove. He simply lives and lets the world watch. You know what happens? People want in. Women get curious. They want to understand that fire. And suddenly, without even trying, you become the prize. Because here's the truth. A man with purpose is magnetic. He doesn't text just to get attention. He doesn't overthink if she likes him. He's too focused on his path to lose himself in anyone else's. And that's when women chase. That's when they miss you, because you're not always there. Not out of games, not to make her jealous, but because you've got something to do. You're a man on a mission. And when she finally gets time with you, it feels rare because it is. So here's your power move today. Ask yourself, what am I building that has nothing to do with her? If you don't know, find it. Start small, but start now. Because women don't fall in love with empty men. They fall in love with men who are full of life. The rarest thing always gets the most attention, and that thing is you. Let me tell you a secret that no one wants to say out loud. People don't value what they see all the time. It's not fair. It's not nice. But it's true. Imagine this. If you ate cake every day, would it feel special? Nope. It would feel boring, normal, maybe even annoying. Now think about you. If you're always texting her first, always showing up, always giving, what happens? She gets full, too full. Not with love, but with comfort. And comfort is where desire dies. Here's the twist. Your absence is powerful. Not because you're playing games, but because you're reminding her, I have a life outside of you. That's magnetic. She starts to wonder, where is he? What's he doing? Why isn't he chasing like before? Now, boom, you've sparked emotion. Not through words, not through gifts, but through mystery. And mystery is rare. Scarcity is rare. You are rare. Here's what most men don't understand. You don't have to disappear to get her attention. You just have to stop being too available. Every time she sees you choosing your time, your goals, your peace, over constant chasing, she feels your value. Because what's rare gets attention. What's rare gets chased. What's rare gets missed. She'll never say this, but your calm makes her feel safe. Here's something crazy. A woman might laugh with the loud guy, flirt with the flashy guy, but the one she trusts, that's the calm man, the grounded man, the man who doesn't react like a firecracker every time something goes wrong. And guess what? That's the man she can't stop thinking about. Why? Because the world is loud. People are loud. Emotions, even louder. But you're quietly powerful. Think about this. If she pushes your buttons and you don't explode, if she throws a test at you and you just smile, if she goes cold and you stay warm inside, she feels something she can't explain. It's like, wait, how is he so calm? Why isn't he freaking out? Why do I feel more emotional than him? And right there, you flip the script. You stop chasing, because now she's feeling the storm inside while you are the eye of it. You become that safe space. You become peace, and peace is rare. Most guys lose control when a girl pulls away. They text more. They panic, they beg for answers, but not you. You understand this one simple truth. Calm is strength. And calm doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about yourself first. It means you've trained your emotions like a warrior. You feel, but you don't fold. You see the drama, but don't dance in it. You hear the noise, but stay quiet inside. That's not weakness. That's real power. And women feel it. She may not say it. She may not even know why she's drawn to you. But deep down, she feels safe with your energy because your heart isn't all over the place, because your mind isn't chasing, because your soul isn't begging. You're centered. And that makes you unforgettable. And now she's chasing. Here's how you stay in control. You did it. You didn't chase. You didn't beg. You didn't explain, prove, or perform. You disconnected. Just once. Not out of anger. Not to play games. But because you chose yourself. And now, she's feeling it. Her thoughts are racing. Her emotions are twisting. Her heart, it's whispering, "Where is he?" Here's the truth no one tells you. When you make her feel your absence, she doesn't forget you. She wonders. She imagines. She rewinds moments in her head. That joke you told. That calm look in your eyes. That unshakable energy she used to feel near you. It haunts her. In the best way. But now comes the final test. Because the moment she comes back, and she will, most guys mess up. They break the frame. They rush in again. They let go of their power. And the whole thing falls apart. But you're not going to do that. Because you know something deeper now. You are the prize. She's not your purpose. Your mission is. She's not your source of peace. Your inner world is. You've spent time alone and didn't crumble. You've chosen growth, not games. You've built strength from silence. And now that she's circling back, you respond from power. You don't gloat. You don't brag. You don't punish. You simply lead. If she wants to join your life, amazing. But she joins a man who is whole, not hungry. She joins a man who can walk away, not one who's desperate to stay. Because here's what you've learned. The man who can walk away without hate. The man who can love without losing himself. The man who can lead without shouting. That man is rare. And women always fight harder for the man who doesn't need to be fought for. So remember, your one disconnection move? It wasn't about punishment. It was about peace. And if she comes back, let her earn the right to stay. From this day forward, you don't chase. You attract. You lead. You detach. You stay calm. You stay dangerous. You stay rare, because that is what she'll miss forever.